Hello, everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing holiday nails. I started off by doing a poly gel infill and then putting down a layer of foundation gel. As you can see here, I'm finally running out of my French tip poly gel and moving on to Cover Pink. Next, I'll be using Yellow Stopper nail polish. I found this to be very helpful and easier to use with glitters or sugaring. Today I'll be using Born Pretty glitters, and I'll leave the link in the description box below. First I'll be putting down a layer of this yellow stopper, and you have to work quickly with this nail polish. I'm just dipping the tip into the glitter, and I'm going to be shuffling the glitter all over my nail. Now this may take a couple of layers just to get full coverage. I found that using regular top coat could muddy up the look if you... I'm going to pat this down with a makeup applicator. So regular nail polish, since it takes time to dry, you could smudge it. And then I also found that using a regular top coat could help, but doesn't stick to it very well for some reason. So you may want to try this. I've seen YouTube videos with the yellow stopper and glitters if you need help applying it. So after the makeup applicator, I'm just taking my brush and wiping it off. And as you can see, the nail polish dried fairly quickly. So it missed a couple of spots, but that's okay because we're going to go back in and make sure that we have full coverage. So this may take one or two more layers after this. And you just want to make sure that you brush off all the loose glitters as best as you can so that when you do use the yellow stopper or whatever it is you'll be using, you won't be pulling the glitters and putting it back into the nail polish bottle. But basically, I'm just taking this nail and I'm covering it with this glitter. Moving on to my ring finger, I'm going to be doing this same technique using red glitter. Make sure you get the tip, and then I'm just going to dip this tip into the glitter. It'll save time that way, and I'll be applying this glitter as quickly and carefully as I possibly can so that I don't spill. I mean, in the past I used to do this over a paper towel, and then I'll dump the excess of the paper towel back into the bottle, but that just takes a lot of work. So I'll just end up getting more powders, but I get a lot of usage out of it, so it's not too bad if you end up having excess, leave the bottle and never return. So again, I'm just taking the applicator and I'm just patting this down, just making sure that it's adhering to the yellow stopper. And at this point, I mean, it's probably dry already. So the yellow stopper is to prevent white nails from yellowing. I don't think it works because I've tried it before, so now I'm just using it to stick on these glitters. And then I'm just going to do this again a couple more times just to make sure that I get full coverage. But see, sometimes when you just cover with the glitter and not a top coat, it looks so nice. And it's a different texture from just having a smooth top coat on your nail. And I kind of held off the holiday designs for December. And I've seen everybody just post a number of holiday nails. So I'm glad I can finally do that here. Next, I'll be using Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel Game of Chromes. And if you saw my last video, I love this nail polish. It's like, if any of you remember like the metallic Sharpie pens that come in gold, it's like a really stinky pen that you probably shouldn't be playing with, but um when you press down on it, that gold just comes out and it looks so like the coverage is great. That's what this reminds me of. So I'm really happy that I got to make use of this color again. And it's funny, these names. I mean, I thought I bought these regular nail polishes like years ago. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because Game of Thrones was, how many seasons ago. So, over 5 years. But, the names of these nail polishes are just hilarious to me, at least. So I'm just going to take this color and paint the underside. I've been slacking a bit doing the underside of my nails just because every time I do a new design, I have to file off the undersides, and it's just getting a little too thin for my liking to where I'm filing off my natural nails. So I kind of try not to do the undersides anymore since I am doing this like once a week. I'm just taking a detail brush to fill in that little gap that I have here. Doing this on a bias, the brush can't get into that corner. But yeah, so if I do the underside, um, it will be like a regular nail polish, and then I can just take acetone when I'm removing it, and that's a lot better than filing it off every week. So now I'm taking, again, Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel Rapsody Red, and I'm going to be applying this to my middle finger. And this week's design is mostly regular nail polish. I have a ton, not a ton, but I have a bunch of regular nail polishes that I want to get rid of before I swap them out with gel. So this has been, I guess, since August that I've been trying to run through what I have. So, it's really interesting trying to figure out how I can make designs just using what you have. And I think that's everybody that's watching these videos. Because not everybody's gonna have a stock of everything you can possibly need for every design you can think of. I mean, as you've seen in my previous videos, I'd have to mix colors. So by all means, do what you need to do. So this red went on pretty clean. I found it to be a little thin, borderline transparent, so this will be needing another coat. but I'll show that later. So now I'm going to be taking Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel, and this is called Jealous Boyfriend. I mean, I guess it's because it's green and you're green with envy. I don't know. But I like this color, so I'm using it. And I'm going to be applying this on my pinky nail. And same as the middle finger, just making sure I get the full coverage, the tip, and a little bit of the sides. And again, this brushed on very clean. It's more opaque than the red, so, but you know, I still am gonna follow up with the second coat on this one. That's the other thing with not applying nail polish on the undersides of the nails. I mean, you want to have somewhat of a clean line. So that takes time to do. I mean, if I was painting the undersides, I would just, you know, wipe it on there and then clean it up once I did the underside. But anyway, putting on the second coat of the Rapsody Red. And I guess on camera it already looks like a pretty solid color, but off camera I can see that it's a little transparent, so these second coats are definitely needed. Especially since I have a bit left of the French tip left over, so that white kind of comes through the red. So now I'm going to be taking my Gummy Jelly by Couture and my Shiny by Couture. And for this part, if you don't have these and a lamp, you can always use nail glue. But since I have it, I'm going to be using this. You want to make sure that if you are using gummy jelly and a lamp, you want to dry your nail polish thoroughly, which I have. And so now I'm just going to apply the gummy jelly and the shiny only where I need the rhinestones, because we're going to matte coat my pinky and middle finger. So I've gone ahead and I've separated the colors from this mixed pack of rhinestones that I've had, which I'll leave a link in the description box below. And then you can also see that I'm using these hollow glitters. I'll be leaving a link for that as well. But I just had this idea of just laying down some color of bling to offset the matte coat. And these beads, I mean, these rhinestones that I'm applying right now are like the tiniest that I've seen, and I had to separate them from the pack. But I'm glad I did that because they're definitely a really good filler, especially when you are applying rhinestones on the whole nail, as you've seen me do. And this one that I just put on is a pearl. And I think I have a link for that, and I'll leave that below too as well. I thought that using pearls would kind of offset all these rhinestones. I'm just taking a mixture of the gummy jelly and shiny, and I'm placing it on the tip of my pinky nail so that I can place an accent stone there in the middle. I'm taking my baller tool to just center that rhinestone. And this is where I freak out because I feel like it's center, but I feel like it's not center. I'll end up tapping it like very lightly, thinking that I moved it enough. But I'm just going back in with the shiny and I'm just filling in any gaps. And you're going to want to do this for all your stones, especially if it's just if you only applied the gummy jelly and shiny on areas that you're only placing the rhinestones, because sometimes it'll leave gaps because it isn't enough gummy jelly. Now I'm going to apply the gummy jelly to my middle finger, and I'm going to place it on the top here. Then I'm going to spread some shiny on it. And you're going to want to apply a thin layer, especially for larger surfaces, so that you don't have any running going on after you place it. And you can always clean it up if it does run, but you know, just something to practice. Less is more, I guess. So now I'm just taking different sizes and colors and just mixing them up on this nail. Finding that in cold weather, it's kind of cold today. And my little pencil thing here is not picking up very easily. Yeah, I mean, you can do this randomly. I just tend to do things symmetrically. So, using this larger white rhinestone, or clear rhinestone, I'm just flanking it evenly with the red and the green, and then I'm going to be using the little clear ones too. But I guess for anyone that's just coming up with any random design, I mean, it's always easy to do things symmetrically so that it looks pleasing to the eye. So with these tinier rhinestones, I'm just using my baller tool, and I'm just gonna fill in these little gaps here. So now I'm taking a mixture of gummy jelly and shiny, and I'm putting a little dab on the opposite corner of my nail, and I'm just going to be placing a little pearl and flank it with a couple of rhinestones. I mean, this has been kind of looking like holly to me, so I'm getting my inspiration from holly leaves with the berries. And this lacquer finish that the nail polish leaves, I mean, also works with the rhinestones, but I think it might be a little too shiny for my liking, so that's why I'm going to matte top coat it. So as you can see, I'm taking 2 green little rhinestones and flanking it on each side. And taking some shiny and filling in the little gaps, making sure it's all sealed in. I'm also, if you're using any pearl looking stones or beads, you definitely want to put a top coat over it, because for some reason just the wear and tear of your everyday kind of like removes the pearl off that bead or stone, so the top coat protects that. So I'm going to take some gummy jelly and put it on my thumbnail along this bias, and I'm taking my shiny and I'm just going to put it on the whole nail. So I'm going to be starting at the top of the nail near my cuticle, and then lightly put some pressure over the gummy jelly and dragging it down a little bit, because we're just going to be scattering some rhinestones and glitter to separate the two colors of the base of the nail, or the bed of the nail, and the Game of Chrome's color. So now I'm just going to be taking the rhinestones, and I'm starting with the largest, as I always do, and work my way down to the smallest, and I'm just randomly placing these stones on the nail along the bias, and I'm going to be using the clear, green, and red. Now I'm going to be moving on to the glitters. I have this circular hollow glitter, and like again I said, I'll leave the link in the description below. And I'm just randomly placing these. These are like multiple sized circles. And I'm also taking these stars and I'm just going to be placing some of that down too. Now I'm just moving on to the smaller rhinestones to fill in the gaps that I have here. And these are all at random. I'm just taking a look at it and seeing what I'd like to put, what colors I need to include more of. And now I'm placing these pearls on there just to break up the bling. And after I lay all of these down, I'm gonna take some shiny and apply it on the pearls. Like I said, just your day-to-day is gonna put wear and tear on the pearl color and it just comes off and it'll just look like a white bump. And then I'm also going to apply the shiny on the hollow glitters just to smooth it out. Those stars will have their points sticking out as it doesn't curve with the nails. So just so you don't get like, your skin or your hair caught in it. I'm going to be filling in those gaps with the shiny. But yeah, I'm just making this look like a big explosion of holiday garland across this nail. Now I'm going to take my Big Matte Top Coat by Sally Hansen, and I'm going to go over that with my middle finger and my pinky. And I'm just going to carefully place this around the rhinestones. And you want to try to put a nice even coat with no streaks on here, because as it dries, you'll be able to see everything. So and there I got a bit of the matte coat on the rhinestone because that center line was not getting covered, but I just went back with my baller tool and I scraped off the matte coat off the rhinestone. And again, I'll be doing this on my middle finger, trying to go around the rhinestones. If you get it on them, you can just scrape it off or take a lint-free wipe and acetone and wipe it off. So now I'm going to take my Nourish Cuticle Oil by Gelish, and I'm going to apply this to each nail. And on my thumbnail, I can be more carefree about putting it around the nail, as well as my pointer and ring finger. When it comes to the matte coat, I found that I have to be more careful putting this because the oil will undo the matte coat. I mean, you can just wash it off and it'll be okay, but just so I'm not having to get up for like the millionth time and wash my hands one more time to remove that cuticle oil for a photo or last shot, I'm just going to carefully rub this cuticle oil around the nail as much as possible to not get it on the nail and muddy up my matte coat, if that makes any sense. You can see when I started, my fingers are just so ashy from the nail cleanser after I did the infill and put down the foundation layer. So this cuticle oil is definitely a need for this season, like I always say. For some reason, my pinky reminds me of a Ferrari logo. Guess it's just the colors. So here's the end result. My Christmas holiday nails. I mean, I'm definitely going to be coming up with a more Christmassy design in the couple weeks to come, but I just wanted to kick off December with some jolly color and bling. And here is the close-up. I love the texture of the sugaring I did on my index and ring finger. In person, it looks like, I don't want to say velvet, but like something like it. And that thumbnail is just to die for with that Game of Crones. And the offset between the matte and the rhinestones definitely work. So there you have it. This is my holiday design nails. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching Isms by Josie, and I hope to see you in the next video where I'll be doing a actual Game of Thrones inspired nail because winter is definitely coming. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos. I'll see you again. Thanks. Bye.